Okay, great. Thank you, everybody, for attending. I am Tim Byrne, and I am in our Schaumburg, Illinois office. May have met in the past at Clerks and Recorders conferences in the past that we've been doing for the last 7 or 8 years, Bill Stewart and myself. And we've had the ScanPro demonstration there, but we would like to do this virtually with you to show you what's new with access to microfilm and microfiche. Today's demonstration will be on the ScanPro 3000. It is one of 3 units available from eImage Data, the manufacturer. And it all has to do with the feature functionality of the software that comes with the scanner. The scanner is about the size of a laptop, so it's a lot different than the reader printer you're using now. And it connects to your PC and your PC monitor. And then connected to your PC is your network printer or local printer, and the ability to not only view and print, but also scan and digitize and save the image as well. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and opened up the software, and the first thing you'll see is our wizards. And depending upon the type of microform you have, you may have your information on 16mm roll film, 35mm roll film, aperture cards, or even microfiche. And today, we'll start off with a demonstration on the 16mm film. So whether that's in an open spool film or 3M cartridge, you will then go through this process to access the film. So what I've gone ahead and done is opened up the film carrier, where I'm going to now load the roll of film. And if you notice on the right-hand side here is a diagram of the direction of the film. So we'll go ahead and put the film on the spindle, put it through the glass, and then over onto the take-up spool. And if you notice, it's in a clockwise manner. So I've gone ahead and I've loaded the film, and now I can advance the film. And there's a couple of ways to do that. On the lower left here side here are the buttons for fast forward. I'll go ahead and hit that forward. And then with the carriers that I have available for the ScanPro, for the 16 and 35mm film, we can load the film and now advance the film either with the fast forward or with a glide here. Okay, so once the film is loaded, we can now get to the image that we might be looking for. I do have the ability to raise and lower the image on the screen. Okay, so in addition to the slide bar here and the fast forward here, I can go to the previous next, which will be beneficial to go through the film to go to the next image of the recorded information that you have on your film. So what we have is the screen, the user interface screen for the ScanPro series. And as I indicated, there's 3 different models, the ScanPro 2200, the 3000, and the i9300. They're, the physical size of the scanner is the same. It's just the feature functionality of the software and what you can do with the images is dependent upon the system. Right now we have the 3000 with the all-in-one carrier, and which that allows us to automatically scan the entire roll of film or scan a number of images automatically. And then when we get to the fiche format, it can scan individual images of fiche or the entire fiche as well. So up on the top title bar here is our feature functionality that we have, which is totally configurable. So all of the different icons, all the different buttons here, we can manage, we can have available to you or remove, so it's not confusing to the operator. They're broken up by the 4 different tabs here, whether it's the home, adjust, output, or setup. And for the use of the film, it can all be used the same way. So if we need to enlarge the image, we can use the zoom button. We can make the image larger and smaller. And notice that the image always stays in focus when we're zooming in and out. Okay? So the operation of the unit would be load the film, get to the image you're looking for, and then either print through the print button or scan the images. So we're going to hit scan to drive 1, and out comes a dialog box. And now we can direct where we want the image saved. We can also put in an index information for that image. And then we can also indicate where we're going to put it and the type of file we want it to be. Many times, the recorded information on your microfilm is several pages long, so we're going to save it as a multi-page PDF. When I hit save, it's automatically going to save that image. And now we can go to the next frame, and we can add that image and go to the next one. So we can save as many images as there are to that recorded file. And let's say it's now 3 images. We can finish. Now let's finish and open. Because I saved it as a PDF, here's a 3-page PDF. Here's page 1, page 2, and page 3. Notice how fast that was. Okay, it's a 1-click save, or it's a 1-click print to save it to your file. If you're going to put this information into your document management system, we have the ability to save it into the folder, and then you can import it into your system from there. We have the ability to make the image unlike your reader printers, where you have the image on the screen and then you go and print it and it's too light or too dark. You don't know what the setting is going to be. We have the ability to adjust the brightness and the contrast of that, and it changes directly on the screen. So if we need to adjust the brightness and the contrast, we'll see what that image is going to look like prior to saving it. So we're no longer having to guess what that image is going to look like. Another benefit to the ScanPro scanner is we have a magnifier. And that is, if we need to see a particular area of the image, we have this magnifier that we can bring over to that area that we would like to enhance or make sure that is in good condition. Many times with the recorded information on microfilm, there might be a corner that might be too light or too dark, or maybe a stamp on the image that might be too light or too dark. Using this magnifier will allow us to move that and and see the image by itself. If we do need to enhance a particular area, the ScanPro series has what we call a spot edit. We can take the spot edit, we can draw an area around where we want to enhance, and now from there we can adjust the brightness and the contrast of just that area, so we can enhance that. So if it's shadowy or too dark, we can lighten that up or darken that up, just that area. So now that area is good along with the other area, and now we can save that or print that as well. And we do have the ability to put as many areas on there and enhance as many areas as we need to make sure that we're going to get a good scan. Other capabilities is whatever is in the green area is what we're going to scan. So if we only need to scan a part of the document, we can highlight that area with the green box, and now we're going to print or capture just what's in that area. If I need to adjust the size of my crop box to the entire area, we have the auto crop. Another feature functionality of the ScanPro that a lot of our customers like is what they call the magic button. It's the auto adjust button. So when we put the film on, if it's too light or too dark or the auto crop didn't work, we can hit the auto adjust button, and that's going to adjust the brightness, the contrast, the auto crop, and the auto straighten. Okay. Other areas that might be beneficial to you is when you need to access the information on film and then send it. We do have scan to email. So we can scan that information and then automatically email to the address that we need to. Okay. Earlier when I scanned the image, show you that we can scan it to where we want, and we scan it as a multi-page PDF. We also can save it as a JPEG image or TIFF images. So many times when files are brought into a document management system, they're saved as TIFFs. We can also save it here automatically as TIFFs as well. Going through some of the other functionality, depending upon how the information is on there, if we need to rotate the image, we can do that in 90-degree increments. Okay, so it's always going to be correct on the screen. Optically, we don't have to rotate the carrier as on many reader printers that we need to. If the film or the fiche was put in backwards or upside down and put on the roll incorrectly, we do have the mirror capability. Here's another function that a lot of our users like to use, and that is our scan mode, in which we can deliver that image either in enhanced grayscale, regular grayscale, or black and white, bitonal. And depending upon how it was filmed and the contrast was used, whether it was too light or too dark, perhaps the black and white mode or bitonal mode would enhance that image, and now we can save it in there as well. And depending upon the file size that you would like to save the image on, the black and white would save on file size. Typically, when we put the film in, it's going to be in focus, but we do have the ability to focus up or down with that. Also, with your older reader printers, depending upon the type of film that you're putting in, you may run into engineering drawings or plats of survey that were of different size. And we need to put it, perhaps with the reader printer, we perhaps needed to put in a different lens. With our zoom capability, with the ScanPro 3000, we have our zoom lens that goes all the way from 7x to 105x. So we don't have to replace those lenses anymore. So we put our film in, we find the image, we adjust the brightness and contrast, and now we can scan that, that image. We can also automatically save that image, those many images to a file. So what we can do is automatically scan the entire roll, or scan 15 images or 10 images, however many images might be in that file. We can go to our ScanPro. So we can now label the name of the file. We can say, let's say we want 7 images. We can type in 7, okay? And now we're going to go ahead and scan those 7 images very quickly. Okay? So within a matter of seconds, it's automatically scanned. I can go to my folder now and retrieve those images. Okay. Go to okay, so there's my images. Okay. So again, we can do that very quickly. Okay, so that is our roll film. We also have the ability now to use microfiche. So with the setup that we have, when we're done with film, we can exit the film, we can rewind the film, and now we're going to go to access information that might be on microfiche. Okay, so in that case, I'm going to go to my film wizard and then select the proper format. And again, with our microfilm wizard, we're only going to put on those types of film that you have. So if you only have the 16mm roll film or the microfiche, you will only see that as part of your film. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and load the fiche. And we're going to notice that in the right-hand corner of how to load that. Hit load. Now it's going to go to the first frame. It's going to ask me to position where that first image is. And if you noticed, we have the icons here on the top, and it can be the exact same icons that we had for the microfilm for the same functionality. Okay. Here we still have the ability to adjust the brightness and the contrast. Okay. We have the magnifier. Okay, so if we wanted to see that, we can do that as well. Okay. So in going from image to image, you notice that we have the auto carrier move, so we can go to the next image, to the next image, to the next image as well. So again, just like with the microfilm, we have our icons on the top. We can adjust the zoom, the brightness of the contrast. We can still do the spot edit. Okay. Now, depending upon the fiche that you have, we can now identify or go to a specific frame. So if we know the image that we're looking for is here on the fiche, we can go ahead and access that very quickly. Okay, we can move throughout the fiche very quickly. Okay, so typically in a use, when you go to that frame, what you want to do is capture everything on the microfiche. We have that ability again with the Auto ScanPro dialog box. Okay, so if we wanted to scan the entire image, we can do so. And let's say the first two rows here were filled with images. I don't want to spend the time to count them. So let's say I'm going to say I want to do 30 images. Okay. So we can hit scan, and what it's going to do now is go from image to image very quickly at about 100 frames per minute and scan those automatically. And the same way it did for the roll film, it's going to do now with the fiche. Okay. So it's going to go to the next column and scan those images as well. Okay, it is now completed. I can now go to and view that. And there are my images. Okay, again, one click and it does it very quickly. We can save them as the multi-page PDFs or single-page PDFs. Okay, and now you can go back to your desk and if it was single-page PDFs, you can put them all together, enhance them, and then put them into your document management system. Okay, so whether your information is on microfilm or microfiche, we have an automatic way to capture and save those images electronically and then distribute them the way you need to. At that point, this concludes our demonstration. Please let me know what questions you may have.
Hey, Tim, this is Ben Reisinger. Can you give us a practical case study scenario in which this has been used, possibly?
Sure. Warren County Clerk and Recorder, I think it was the recorder, has our system, and they have it on microfiche. It's one of your compatriots using the system. And again, they're using it for fiche. They do not have the all-in-one carrier, so it's a manual loading of the film. They go ahead and get the image up, and then they can view the image. They would get it up on the screen, and again, they would zoom in, zoom out, get it to the brightness and contrast they want, and they are saving the images, and they're putting them to their management system. They also have the ability to print out if they want as well. So it
Fantastic.
is a total replacement of their older reader printer, which they could only view and print. Now they can view, print, scan, and digitize the information.
Okay, I love it. So can this do auto scanning of the com fiche?
It can do automatic scanning of the fiche, and that's what we're showing here now. So again, they would put in the fiche, and they can select individual frames or images from the fiche, or they can scan the entire fiche. And that was the last thing I did, was I scanned the entire fiche, or 30 pages of that fiche.
Okay, wonderful. Can you explain what the difference is between the ScanPro 2200 and the ScanPro 3000?
Certainly. And there's also the ScanPro i9300.
Oh,
So we don't run into this the i9300 too much in the clerks and recorders. That's primarily used for roll film with blips for automatic retrieval or faster retrieval. So with the ScanPro 2200 and the ScanPro 3000, again, the scanner looks the same, the hardware is the same, but it's a little different in the functionality or the icons that are available, as
yes.
well as then the ScanPro 2200 is a budget-friendly system. It's a little less expensive and comes with a 6.6 megapixel camera. The ScanPro 3000 comes with a little bit more feature functionality set, as well as a 26 megapixel camera. And what that 26 megapixel camera is, it's the highest megapixel camera in the industry, and it will give you the best resolution available.
Oh, and that's what customers want. Hey, one
Yeah.
last question, and I think you covered this, but all ScanPro models can all do both microfilm and microfiche, correct?
That is correct. Yep.
Okay, okay,
Yep.
wonderful.
And it's just a matter of what your requirements are when you retrieve the film, and the feature functionality set that comes with it. So what's been very popular in the clerk and recorders area is both the 2200 and 3000, and they like the ability to capture the images and have the best image quality possible. So the ScanPro 3000 is the most popular. What's also nice about the ScanPro series is that from eImage Data comes a 3-year warranty. So it includes parts and labor. So for the first 3 years, we can go through the manufacturer. And if you need longer maintenance on that, our office, Imaging Office Systems, offers depot service on that as well. It includes parts, labor, and shipping of the unit to our office. What's a lot different between the digital scanners today and the old reader printers is it's basically all set on software. So we have the ability to remote into the system, see what you're seeing, and we can help you with fixing what ails you. If it is a hardware problem, then we would have the unit shipped and then work on the hardware. But there's a lot less moving parts, and it's a lot less mechanical than the older reader printers.
Okay. Excuse me. And one last question. So an entire roll of film or a packet of fiche, do you need a special, like adaptation or connection to it, to the ScanPro, or does it just automatically do those?
Sure. For the roll film, if you want to automatically capture the entire roll of film, we can use the UCC 510 that will allow you to capture the entire roll. But if you have microfiche, you would need to put on the auto carrier to automatically capture the entire fiche.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. Thank you very much. I think that is it for our questions. We appreciate your demonstration today. And for all of you that are watching this, imagingoffice.com or LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at Imaging Office. So thank you all for attending today, and have a good one. Bye-bye.